Good evening, everybody. Melissa here. So it is a very, very, very hot Tuesday. I was going to say Thursday for some reason. It's a very hot Tuesday evening, and me and the belly butts are walking around the block. My daughters are swinging on the swings like they like to do. We had to wait till it got a little later because it was so hot earlier. But anyways, just wanted to hop on, have a little chat. I haven't been on lately. Been kind of going through some low moments lately. I think we all struggle with that at times, right? And it's funny because I was just listening. I was listening to her name's Chia Pila. She's a tarot card reader from Hawaii. She's really good. I love listening to her. And I actually stopped the video halfway because she kind of made me think of something. And she started talking about depression. And I think that that's something now in this day and age. A lot more people are struggling with mental health issues. Everything is so sped up now in our world. Everything is all about now. People don't have as much patience as they used to. Everybody's overstimulated, over-medicated. There's so many corrupt things going on in the world right now. I don't even want to get started on that. I want to stay focused on what I came to talk about. But what I came to talk about actually is about depression. Now, when I was about 19 years old was when I guess you could say I had my first, I don't want to call it a nervous breakdown, but when I realized what severe depression was, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and I was going through a lot of change in my life at the time. I was 19 years old, single mother of a 1-year-old, living with my mother again after being on my own for 2 years, and my mom and I always had a hard time getting along, and that only lasted about 4 months before I moved back out again. And I was still going to school for nursing, and I also had gotten a new job at Hooters of all places. So I had a new job, 18 credit hours in college, single mom, moving out on my own again, so I had all this change. And the reason why I moved back with my mom is because her dad and I had split up after being together for over 4 years. So that was hard. We lived together. So I had all this change, and my brain basically went, I didn't know what was happening to me. I was having standing blackouts at work, literally I would just be standing there hostessing at the door, because you have to hostess when you're at Hooters, which is that's so crazy. Anyways, that's like your initiation. You have to hostess for a month, then you get your orange shorts so you can shake your ass, right? Anyways, that job didn't last long. Couldn't stand it. But, hello. And, anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Somebody said hi to me over the fence. I was having these standing blackouts where, I'd be totally awake, and then everybody's voice, I started to know when they were coming, because everybody's voices would get really, really, really loud. And then everybody would start talking really fast, and then all of a sudden, I couldn't see anything. It was like I would momentarily black out, but I could hear everything that was going on around me. I definitely had to hold on to something because it was almost like fainting, but it wasn't. And that's probably the highest my stress levels had ever been in my body. This is what I know now, that when you have so many things changing around you all at once, added on with trauma and trying to get through something hard, your mind just totally went off kilter, and so I didn't know what was happening to me. I was so young, and then the voices came, and that's when it got really scary. And we're not talking about your thoughts that you hear that you could semi-control in your head. We're talking about full-on voices telling me to do bad shit, okay? And so I didn't know what to do with that. I literally thought at this point I was losing my mind. And so one day I went to pick up my dad at the airport, and he could tell right away that something was seriously wrong with me. He asked me, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And I came out. I came right out and was like, I'm hearing voices. Like, just to get the severity across of what was happening with me, right? And he just casually just shook his head, and then he was like, okay. And I was kind of like, all right. Well, I didn't know that mental illness, it ran in the family, and so my dad knew exactly what to do. He booked me an appointment with a psychologist, and see, back then, you had to see a psychologist first. You had to tell them what was going on. Not like now where you could just go talk to one person and they'll medicate you right away. And I know this from experience from my daughter. But anyways, I had to talk to a psychologist. He gave me a book called Life on the Edge. And he said, because he could tell I was in agony. I was just in utter agony. I didn't want to live anymore, honestly. I didn't even know what I was doing. I'd wake up. I didn't know what to do with myself. Literally didn't know where to go, where to look, where to turn. I just wanted to run back in the room, dive back in the bed, pull the sheets over my head, and hide all day. I lost weight. I mean, everything. It was just, I was literally living in hell in my brain. And he gave me this book called Life on the Edge. And he said, read the first page and that's it. So I'm thinking, you're going to have me read a book with the way I'm feeling right now? So the first page basically talked about how our brain is an organ just like any other organ in our body. It's like literally the most important one, right? Besides your heart. And it can get sick just like any other organ. And when the doctor tells you, oh, you have liver cancer or you have gallbladder disease or whatever, or you got a gallstone, you don't just go, okay, doc, well, I'm going to skip out on the meds and I'm going to go home and I'll take care of that myself, right? No. You get fixed, you get whatever you need. And it's the same thing with our brains, right? So, got on medication, and it literally at that time saved my life, okay? I mean, no joke, because I knew nothing. I just wanted to feel better. I was young, and now I needed to like start over with myself. I didn't know what direction I was going in, it was like I had a full-blown reset, Now, fast forward to decades later, right? I started having, in my late 30s, early 40s, I started having full-blown panic attacks again, right? Now, I had been from 19 years old on and off on anti-anxiety and antidepressant medication all those years. Now, we have serotonin receptors in our brains that almost look like little mushrooms. And like I found out later on that as the years go on and you keep taking these antidepressants, they start eating away at these serotonin receptors and they don't grow back. It's kind of like, when you eat holes in your brain with drugs and alcohol, it doesn't grow back. It could heal maybe, but it's never going to be the same. And so when I learned that, I thought, okay, that's interesting. Now, and these are the ones that balance your happy signals, right? Dopamine is just a quick pleasure rush. We need those serotonin receptors. We need lots of them. We don't need them to be eaten away and diminished away. And then what? What if you have 2 good ones left? Then what are you going to do, right? So I learned how to manage my depression and anxiety naturally with the earth, with Mother Nature. I got back in balance with my circadian rhythm. What's that? Anyways, I will continue this video. My kids are done at the park, but I will continue this video and I will let you know on how I healed my depression naturally, got my circadian rhythm back online, and we'll go from there. Have a great night, everybody.